games, and Azrael took both of those games, and we see the Clouds
And
instead of the Joker.
It's completely fair. Azrael needs to secure the bag, and clearly Joker does not secure the bag. And what you're already seeing from here is, yeah, the smaller platforms are in the smaller stages helping VeCystim here. VeCystim is very comfortable in small battlefield, as you've seen against YYZ, and he loves these small platforms against also players like Azrael, you know, like an actual Luigi. He did very well in a lot of these smaller stages.
Definitely true, and I think it's just cool to see the Cloud on the screen. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because you're making Azrael get to that like situation where you're both scouting out and you're barely like taking your stocks. You're taking your time with it, and you need to like secure it. You know, playing out the neutral more softly here, and yeah, it definitely shows like VeCystim obviously has been a good player for a while, but has really grown and like has shown like, especially in these MCONs, that he's improved quite a lot.
Well, he has a lot of fighting power, and I think what you said is definitely true, that he's shown that his fighting power is, you know, rapidly growing each time that he's attended these events, and now making it to, you know, barely making the top 12, I think 2 points over Paint as well. Having, you know, this opportunity to play against one of the best, you know, players in the Netherlands, and showing that you can definitely hold up is a fantastic performance already.
Yeah, quite the super Banjo saying here. And you're already noticing Azrael is starting to get back into that cloud flow, and it's going to be much harder for VeCystim to keep that pressure up. He has to really mix his options here, because against a character like that plays much more simply and uses up B punishes like Cloud does, even if it's like not exactly the easiest thing, a lot of the cases that Cloud has, it's mainly pressure. He doesn't need the combos, but like Banjo needs the damage and the combos,
yeah,
which makes it much tougher to get past the character that plays more simply.
I mean, that's very well, I think, worded. I think for this entire matchup, Banjo just needs to have these hits, you know, hit more, and I think Azrael can put up a more defensive wall and eventually counter all the moves that Banjo wants to throw out, right? Especially like right there.
Yeah, and that was quite interesting, because you don't really see like a setup like that. Normally you would maybe like see like just getting like a more of a raw kill, or getting like a position into the limit cross slash kill, but no, that was some decent damage getting that off of the forward air, and then yeah, very interesting way. Azrael has a different kind of Cloud that you don't really see in not just any other region. You don't really see that often in Ultimate or yeah, in like Smash history. Like obviously there's been Smash 4 Cloud, but Ultimate Cloud has just shifted so much.
Oh, there's definitely some gears that have been shifted between the two versions of Smash 4 and Ultimate Cloud, but I think from what I heard is that Azrael also, I think I saw, oh, I was thinking Pokemon Stadium too, but
this is a very comfortable stage. VeCystim has literally been winning and doing really well in this stage, even though it's like pretty good for other characters like that. I think it's much better for zoners, characters who love to like get that space out.
Well, I mean, I play Isabel and I love to play again on Hollow Bastion. You have so many, you know, things that are going in your way on this stage, but you know, if you're looking for a forward air off the stage, that's also a way to finish up the stock.
It's quite the intriguing set here, and you're already seeing the big difference here. VeCystim starting to adapt. He's not a Game 1 player, he's more of a Game 2-3 player. You're definitely already seeing that, especially against a character like Cloud. You need to like just not wall him out, but like somehow get in and then wall him in the corner, wall him in like the offstage game, because that's where he struggles when he has no limit and he has no way to wall jump back, and he kind of needs the opponent to make the mistake so he gets back on.
I mean, that's definitely true, and I can definitely agree with it as well. And maybe we can also see that maybe, you know, Banjo in his prime time was on the N64 and maybe on the Xbox as well. It just takes a lot, some time to start up, but when it starts up and when you start playing, well, it's a fantastic game. And you know,
yeah, it's quite interesting. We're literally watching a matchup of these two characters who are of a similar era, you know, the early 3D era, and you have like different genres, you know, RPG and
platformer,
yeah,
collectathon,
Scrimblow, Bimbo, whatever. But in any case, yeah, we're already seeing VeCystim already keeping that very good confidence and just being yeah, being one of those very good mental game players, just knowing, oh, if I keep this up, I will eventually beat the player. I can eventually learn how this player works, and then I can just kill them off of it.
I think it just looks at ways to punish when they are playing, and I think what you said is definitely true in the first game. Maybe it's a little bit slower, but towards the second game, you see that VeCystim is getting a lot more punishes than got in the first game, and it's really strong. And of course, really, better to see for Banjo. But maybe perhaps a quick stock from Azrael.
And one thing for people to be aware of in the audience, if they're not aware, the Wonder Wing doesn't actually get wasted if you get hit before it actually starts. And that's really important to know. So that means they don't lose a resource for accidentally getting hit before it actually hits you. Not just that, you can most people know that it grab traits, but I'm not sure if people in the audience would know that. You can grab out of it, and that's how you usually beat the move. You call it out, or
I mean, that's very good, and Azrael pushing it to the limit and getting the cross slash onto the Banjo, but it's not quite yet there on the percentage to close out this second game.
Yeah, and VeCystim just showing that character mastery or optimization. He knows how to recover from really low positions, even parrying really hard to punish move like limit cross slash from maximum spacing too.
I mean, the spacing right there was absolutely nuts, because both of those hits, if they hit the other player, that might have been the stock or the game right there, but these players of course on another level and are reacting to such micro spacing decisions. Ooh, barely whiffing the grab right there onto Azrael.
Yeah, and the grenade is just like a wall that VeCystim really needs to capitalize on, and it's starting to work here.
And I think what is the most dangerous thing about Azrael normal times is that Azrael kind of reacts to the grenade as well, both of these characters as well.
And that's why I think he's the super Banjo Saiyan. He literally gets better the more he fights. He gets better when he's gets beaten to a pulp. From a 2-0, he's beaten players like
YYC and an X-Wag as well.
Yeah, it's very inspiring.
Both players actually above him in PR, current PR. So already having a good start or a good potential start of 2023 if he keeps up this momentum heading into the smashing future of future events to that matter.
Yeah, I very much should be watching out for players like this. People are coming from the groundwork, coming from the fire, it's burning brighter in their hearts. They're just playing with their soul. They're just trying their best, and now they're actually, they're showing up on stream. They're showing off their stuff and performing much better than they normally would, and are now at a much higher level.
Well, so far the game is pretty even. I think Cloud has to... Oh, no, I didn't have to use his limit, because he smartly used his air dodge at the correct timing right there. Finishing off the stock with the limit on hand.
And you're already seeing a shift in how Azrael has been playing, but yeah, you cannot afford to just commit like that and accidentally whiff an up B.
Yeah.
The Wonder Wing is always whiff punish here.
Oh, it's now back and forth. The up smash hitting, but also hitting with...
And that's what I mean. It's very dangerous to go for stuff that isn't a combo, and I guess that works against Azrael's favor, because, a lot of what Cloud does isn't a combo. It's actually more pressure. And as you can see, actually using a bit of that tangibility to beat it out. The finishing touch, put out the finishing touch there.
I mean, it was just a good play. Maybe it's the runaway option in the RPG menu of Final Fantasy VII, but hey, it worked out right there, having the potential or having the punish with the limit on deck.
And yeah, that was actually a very interesting interaction just a bit ago. You saw VeCystim space out like a shield punish. He jumped back and then forward aired for Azrael trying to cross slash. You're seeing all these kinds of things that you would only be aware of if you're a really good player. If you know how to beat for example, a player like Azrael. That's very tough to do. And yeah, it's great to see,
I mean, it's great. This match is still not out of the hands of VeCystim. Only on 70%, they can definitely make this back onto the Cloud with some moves off Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah, and it's not going to be a game 3 situation whatsoever. It could go to a game 4 here, and that's actually quite interesting to see. This is a guaranteed game 3 regardless of what happens here.
That is true, and keep in mind this is still loser, so the loser of this match, you know, is I think finishing in the 5th place if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. Like VeCystim could easily be upsetting a player like Super Striker if you get Cloud against VeCystim.
Oh well, we're seeing Freddy Fazbear. Maybe that's a bit of a change-up for VeCystim, and maybe that's the answer also for getting Game 5. Who knows?
Going Super Banjo and Super Kazooie. Maybe that'll help him unlock his potential.
Okay, so we're seeing Hollow Bastion again, and I think that's a good pick from VeCystim.
It's just a comfort pick, I noticed, and it seems pretty good naturally for Banjo. It even works against characters who already do well in Hollow Bastion. Lucas does well in Hollow Bastion, but seemingly VeCystim does not care and will always pick that stage when the time comes. And
and there's the second shoe break of the tournament again from VeCystim.
VeCystim just knowing, like getting a lot of shield pressure in because he knows it's the most efficient way to get the kills off and to get the damage off when the opponent is not able to do anything practically off of those.
I mean, that's great, and of course having 5 tries of the Golden Wing on deck as well is definitely helpful for this matchup.
And for the Banjo homies at home, they must be popping off, especially anyone who is a big fan of a player like this.
Ooh, I thought he was going for the grab there, but a very good jab conversion as well. You know, gathering up the damage.
Oh wow! I don't know if that was the bomb explosion messing up the hitbox or something, or just Banjo being weird.
I mean, it could be either way, but I'm kind of getting a little bit worried for Azrael because we haven't seen anything.
I think
well,
he lost the jumps, yeah.
I think so as well, and that's of course pretty good for Azrael still, but you want to have a more confident way into heading or making damage.
That grenade was very clutch. It literally stopped the entire limit blade beam from actually connecting on Banjo. That's really good, like pressure and walling. Like it's kind of like how I would at least like, for example, I don't want to be hit by a blade beam limit. I go for a PK fire, but like that's much riskier than just throwing an item. An item is much harder to deal with. You have to react to the trajectory it goes to and when it explodes, and yeah, you still have to account for the fact that a player is still moving and accounting for all these options.
I mean, that's definitely true of the grenade as well, because the grenade, when you pick it up, is a really low time of actually already exploding. Where instead, for example, maybe like uncooked snake grenade, you have a little bit more time to figure out what you want to do with it. But with the grenades of Banjo Kazooie, it's not really there. And you know, Azrael, answering back and making it quite an even game despite the first stock.
With the cross slash already, we're seeing a lot of good awareness by the players, and it already seems like Azrael knows what to do against these grenades. They've played before, and probably he's played Senso as well, and also probably Siphon when he used to play Banjo. So he definitely has that experience down. He knows what he's doing.
Well, of course you can have this experience, but you need to show it in this losers quarterfinal match in the Ultimate Challenger Series finals. Could he, close out the stock and already move on, or is this going to go to Game 5? Let us show right now.
Pretty tough, and going for the Nair instead because he knew that he was gonna mash fast enough out of the down throw to avoid the up tilt kill. And with a character like Cloud, the up tilt may not kill consistently enough at this kind of stage.
And yes,